Hi, and welcome back to my journey. I know it's been, I don't know, 3 weeks, almost a month. Um, I'm somewhere around 25.3. I don't know, I haven't done the math exactly. I've been trying to catch up, which is one of the reasons I haven't been doing videos, because I haven't felt up to doing one. Doing one today because I've actually taken a shower, and a bunch of people have been reaching out to me, which I really appreciate. And I just wanted to say thank you and get this out there. There's a video that I watched, and I commented on this before. It was actually here in the United States, mainstream news channel, and they did a thing on benzodiazepine, which I commented on before, and I never left the link for it. I think this time I'll try to leave a link. The two things my two takeaways from it, or three maybe, is one, at least we're getting some recognition. Two, it's interesting that I think at least twice they very much specifically say only to be taken from 2 to 4 weeks, which is completely nothing that I ever heard, ever, ever. Even my doctor now still, I think, I don't know, maybe it's becoming more of a thing now because they're forcing it to with the opiate crisis and whatever, but anyway, that was the one takeaway that they kept showing that, and then they basically, and I'm paraphrasing, but the inference is basically it has to be prescribed correctly by the doctor. So they're basically covering their asses, is what I think they're doing. They're like slowly leaking this information out there so that when this finally comes to a head, which to me it already has, but I think it's going to get worse, they can say, well, we've been saying it all along, and here's some proof. But like I said, my biggest takeaway is at least it's being talked about in the mainstream media. Granted, it was like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it was on, I don't know when it aired, but the fact that it's there, I think that's pretty cool. A lot of people have been asking me about different side effects and whatever that I've been going through. As I've said, I'm really not going to get into that too much. I mean, I've answered the questions. One in particular I get a lot is DP and DR, which I told the one person I've actually I never looked up those terms. I didn't know what they meant. Again, I've been doing this for over 30 years, so the internet wasn't a thing. And it wasn't until a few years, well, I've been doing this now for about 4 years with my SSRIs, which I really do want to do a video on that because since I've actually done the SSRI, and I think I have some words of wisdom with that, because I have done that one. Whether or not my brain's completely healed, I don't know, because the benzodiazepine has been such a joy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But my point was, which I don't know what my point was. I just completely lost it. Which it has, the DP and the DR. The derealization, I think that's one of the things that scares me the most. And I never really thought of it as DR. I didn't know what that was. I mean, I looked it up finally because people kept asking me. The depersonalization, I've had a couple really scary, actually, and it was weird. The one was so bizarre, and I've never done any drugs, which is ironic, having the fact that I'm on doing this channel because of drugs. But it was as close to a psychedelic, whatever I can imagine it to be. And it was so bizarre that it didn't really even scare me, which was pretty interesting because right now if somebody sneezes, I jump. So, but yeah, I don't get a lot of that. So for the people that have been asking me that, I know that one's not a real big thing for me. Anyway, I really do. I have a whole bunch of ideas of videos that I want to do. People asking me, and I just went and saw my naturopathic doctor, and they're always asking me, what helps. And again, I hesitate because what helps me, or kind of helps me, but the one thing I'll say, I'm going to keep saying this, L-theanine. L-theanine in larger doses, we'll just put it that way, than what you would, read on the package. It's safe. Talk to the person behind the counter. They can instruct you. I can't tell you what's safe and what's not. But L-theanine I do take, throughout the day, and it does help me. GABA I also take. But anyway, I just saw my, we'll go with those two for right now. I mean, I take CBD oil and whatever, and the verdict's still out on that one. Although when I see my holistic doctor, which I keep alluding to, he does want me to continue taking it. He says CBD oil is helpful with your cortisol production, which I'll throw this one out there. It's phosphatidylserine. Phosphatidylserine. No, I can't spell it. I also take those. I take that for my cortisol as well, because my cortisol, the last time I saw him, which admittedly was almost a year ago, and that's my fault. I haven't made an appointment to see him. So I did finally get in to see him, and my cortisol is all over the place through muscle testing, but I knew that it was with all the fear I've been experiencing and just the chemical fear and all those things that people describe. My serotonin is back off again, which I was kind of believed it was. I had stopped taking the 5-HTP because we had stabilized my serotonin for a while. So I'm taking 5-HTP again for that. Again, that's something you can look up. There was just a docu-series that was done on anxiety and depression. It was fairly well done. The one thing that's interesting to me is they were all the doctors were saying the same thing, and that's you've got to clean up your diet. They're advocating basically vegan. I can't do that. I've tried. I've definitely put a lot more plants back into my diet, and I'm going to continue to do that. And just so anybody that does that, one thing that I noticed with it is I think I started to detox, which makes some of the symptoms a little more fun, but at the same time, I kind of see it as a good thing. If you can see having symptoms as a good thing, but I kind of, and then you feel a little bit better the more, as I'm eating a lot of salads with a lot of greens and a lot of, but I'm still eating meat. I need the protein. I even the carbs. I'm really, really trying to get rid of carbs. I'm trying to be as close to paleo as I can. But anyway, the docu-series was, I think it was 8 or 9, each one almost 2 hours long. And they were all saying the same thing. It's coming from the gut. It's the gut. It's parasites, the gut, leaky gut, healing the gut. I actually have all the videos. I'm going to try to figure out a way that either I can just tell people what I've said in them, because I can't just link them, because I'm pretty sure that would, I don't think that would be legal. But the information they have in there is good. And the reason I say that it was good is because they never come out and call it benzodiazepine withdrawal or SSRI withdrawal or whatever. But they, when they use case studies, the doctors always say, like, the very, very first one right out of the gate was the biggest problem they had was this person was on a high dose of benzodiazepine. And she and her doctor both thought that they would never be able to get off. And they use things like, there's one I'm going to look up. It's a derivative. It's from the lavender plant, and it's a compound, and you can actually buy it. And I do use lavender oils, and I do know they work, especially for sleep and whatnot. But I'll look that up. Maybe I'll put it in the description as well. But they mentioned that. They mentioned, essential oils as a whole, frankincense being very good, melissa, which is hugely expensive but very good. But things like that, also changing your diet, exercise, and again, I haven't been. I'm losing muscle mass. I look in the mirror and I'm wondering who's that old person staring back at me. But that is what it is. But anyway, it was somewhat encouraging to see them listing, like they mentioned the L-theanines and whatever. So it was somewhat encouraging to me to see a docuseries where a bunch of doctors, psychiatrists and whatever, were actually saying that, yeah, this is a real thing. They were trying to, you could tell, tap dance around the whole thing because they didn't want to get into trouble. But at the same time, they were admitting that, yeah, these are problems. First thing you need to do is you need to get off the medication. Then you can change your diet and do all these other things to help your body to mitigate, the side effects. Anyway, I really just came back to say thank you to all of you, and then I'm still here. I'm still working at it. I actually haven't held a day since my last video, I'm pretty sure. That's been my goal. It has not been easy. I'm not cutting quite as strongly, but I'm still trying to keep it at a rate where I was trying to catch back up, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to do that. But actually I'm coming kind of close, which is cool. but at the same time, I also can feel where I'm going to need to be holding for a few days, because just to give myself an overall break. Because I'll be honest, like people ask me, like, one thing for me right now is fear. You know, being alone. I can't. Panic attacks in my house. But yeah, anyway, I'm not. Again, I said I won't be negative, so I'm not. I'm just being real. I'm just documenting all this. So thank you for every one of you. I've said I'm going to come up with some videos that actually have some substance to them, and that requires me to sit down and really be able to think and do whatever. And right now, that's just not happening. I'd be wearing some reading glasses as well, and right now I just don't have it to do that. But I'm still here. The numbers are still falling. I appreciate every single person that's reached out to me, and I promise I will respond in kind. Again, please like if you can, just to get the message out there. Leave a comment, that helps. And I'm saying that for everybody that's doing one of these videos, not just for me. And I always say that. But love and light to all of you. I love you all. I'm pulling for you all, and you guys are so strong and so brave. And the ones that have been through this already, I tip my hat to, because every time I think it really can't get harder, it does. But not to make people feel down, because at the same time, there's times when, you know, it's not so bad either. So, you know, it comes and goes. And I can tell the better I treat my body, which I guess is really what I want the gist of this video to be, the better you treat your body. From all the years of I ate like shit, you know, everybody says, well, what was the underlying thing that started all your anxiety in the first place? And everything is pointing to gut health. It could be parasitic, it could be Lyme, I mean, there's a lot of things that would go along with those viruses, a lot of things that go along with it, but it all comes down to the fact that we're so toxic. From the waters we drink, from the air we breathe, from just, you know, the foods we consume with the dyes and the chemicals and the stuff that we put on our, you know, just our, you know, what we do to clean our bodies and clean our homes, and just all of that. I mean, we're exposed to so many toxins. Probably most of you already know all of this. But if for those of you who haven't given any thought, the lifestyle that got you here is not the lifestyle that's going to get you out. And that's the other thing. I always see in groups and comments, people always saying that they want to get back to where they were. I'm hoping when I get through this that I'm not at all the person that I was. Even though I understand that mentality of I just want to get back to being able to do things with my daughter, and that part I get, and being a real father and being a real husband and all those things. But I'm hoping at the same time that I'm a completely different person, and that this is going to be the best gift of learning, hardcore learning that I've ever been through. And I think the same for all of you. And we'll all be on the other side of this. We'll be better off for it, and we'll be able to help others and to make this not be a thing anymore. Anyway, love and light to all of you. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.